Welcome back and good evening, everyone. Going to be doing legs and calves tonight. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining me. So, quick update, my Amazon affiliation is officially starting up soon, and I'll be adding direct links in the video descriptions for exact products and the gear and different kind of supplements and stuff that I personally use. Anytime you use those links, it helps support the channel and keeps these videos coming. And I really appreciate the support, guys. So stay tuned in. So yeah, anytime you use those links, if you go through my link, and even if you don't buy any of those products, if you actually go through that link and buy any of your own stuff, it will still give me a little bit of a percentage for about 24 hours. And yeah, it supports my channel. So one of my first affiliations, which is really exciting, getting that kind of stuff going, building stuff around the channel and not just using the channel alone. And so yeah, going to be a great workout, and I really appreciate you guys coming along. If you like my videos, subscribe and comment. Tell me, guys, what you like, what you want to see. I'm kind of doing a little bit more of a bro split now, about 5 days a week. Everything is separately, just so I'm not here so long, and I can really emphasize and target, especially like back and chest. I really want to be able to plow through those workouts and not have to worry about doing another exercise, like another muscle group beyond that. I mean, obviously legs, I'll do calves, but I don't, legs and like quads and hamstrings, I don't ever really count those as separate. I do it all together. So yeah, it's going to be a great workout, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. I will see you in the gym in a second. Hey guys, so I'm here at the gym now, and I'm just got done warming up with some leg extensions, and did a few sets warming up the quads for squats, and now we got our squat shoes on, and I got my old school Altus belt on. I'm going to start wearing this more again, just for the support, as I start to go heavy and start prioritizing the squats first in my workout, after I just warm up a little bit. So, still do a little bit of warming up. It's so rainy out. You can hear the rain hitting the roof right now. See, I love these old school belts. I mean, this belt is probably 35 to 40 years old. And I'm like, man, it's like I originally had one, but I ended up getting stolen a long time ago. And so now they finally got an old school one again. I'm gonna start using it. These things are great. Number 2. Just doing some more field reps, field sets. reps on, and it's nice and tight. And I am still trying to go as deep as I can go. I don't have a lot of flexibility in my ankles, which is why I have to wear either elevated like squat shoes or having a plate with the feet. And my dad honestly had to do the same thing. I think he wouldn't use a 2x4. It was something a little thinner than that he'd always take with him. Because you go down like there, your feet would start to go up. So, like these elevated shoes. Alright, let's see what this feels like. I'm going to move on to the pendulum squats next, and then we'll go to hack squats. I'm kind of switching things up. I'm going to try to do my power movements first before I do the leg extensions, because last time we did leg extensions first to pre-exhaust, I was maxing out on the thing, having to add a bunch of weight to it. I don't want to break the machine, so I mean, just because I can add weight to it and it looks cool, I don't want to break the machine. It's probably a $3,000 or $4,000 machine, so just trying to pre-exhaust going the other way, so I end with the leg extensions for my thighs. So one thing I wanted to talk about really quick is like the equipment that I use, the belt, and the knee wraps that I use. My dad always taught me back in the day. My dad, his name is William Freeman. We all call him Bill Freeman, apart from me. He's just Big Dad. He always taught me how to respect the gym equipment, especially when it comes to the belts. When he would work out with me, he would get really mad at me if I ever tossed the belt on the ground or just left it carelessly or left it somewhere. I think I left his belt at the gym once when I was at the YMCA back in Idaho Falls. I had to go back and he was so frustrated because he had the belt since high school, which is like the late 70s. He graduated in 77. And so, yeah, he always taught me to have a lot of pride for the materials I have. Never throw things in the ground. I've never liked that in gyms where people are throwing things around, throwing the weights, slamming stuff, tossing their belts and their wraps on the floor like they're garbage. It's just, you know, we respect our bodies enough, and we should respect the equipment that we have too that help us get to our goals. So yeah, always put your weights away. I mean, I don't even like when people leave 45s on equipment, so just take everything off. You don't know who's getting on the equipment next. Clean things down, make sure everything looks nice, make it look better make the place look better than what it was before you got there. So yeah, treat your equipment well, just respect your stuff, and it'll last longer. I mean, like getting this belt the other day. This belt, even though it's not, I just got it I got it off of eBay. It's probably a 45-year-old belt. Obviously whoever had it took care of it, or they just never used it and they kept it in a safe place. So eventually I am gonna want, as my channel grows, I'm gonna want to come out with my own belt. I'm gonna call it the Legacy belt. It's gonna be made the same way with that 4-inch back there, and I'll probably have my name across the loop where you put this in, and it'll have the double section just like this one does. And so yeah, pretty excited about that. So you know, if you take care of that, I mean, it'll last for years. So many of the belts that you get now, they don't come out with old school stuff like this anymore. You have your thick suede powerlifting belts, and those are good too. They can last you for probably as long as these belts. But I like the old school vibe, to where you watch Pumping Iron with Arnold Schwarzenegger and all those guys, and they'd have these kind of belts. And so, yeah, good stuff. And eventually I'd like to come out with my own. So, all right, before the pump is gone and I cool down too much, let's move on to the next exercise. Pendulum squats. I'm gonna keep my lifting shoes on for this too. Still go a little bit higher, so hit the hamstrings a little bit more.
And listen to your body too. If it's going too deep, if it's bothering your knees, don't go that deep. Last set of those, heavy. I'm doing 3 warm-up sets here. 195. feels a lot heavier now that I've done all the other movements first. No complaints. Oh yeah, that already feels a lot heavier. 225. Already did 3 warm-up sets here. 80. Definitely a lot lighter today since we started with these later. That's okay, it feels heavy though. So I'm probably going to do my next leg workout similar to what I did today, to where I won't start with all of the leg, like the leg extension and the leg curls. I'll start with the more power movements, especially with squats. I can start using more weight again. Now I've been using my belt and my wraps and my shoes. Get back to the feeling of having a heavy load on my back when I do squats. So that felt really good, and my thighs are really pumped. And everything that I'm doing now, I'm not really going up in a lot of weight here, but sometimes it's hard to start to finish with the same intensity that you started with. So I'm really trying to push through here. Here are the calves right now, even though I didn't even work my calves directly, indirectly, probably from like the hack squats I was doing and everything else. Stabilizing is still, you know, you're still using your calves, of course. Going to finish up with a couple more sets of the lying leg extensions, and they're the seated leg extensions and some standing calf raises, and then we'll get out of here. Yeah, like today, my knee wraps, they're by Chic. They actually look like the similar ones that Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman have used over the years. I think the ones I'd seen him use were white and black, and Ronnie's were red and black back in the day. So yeah, those are really good wraps, and once I get the Amazon affiliation, the links on there, I'll have those on there too. And belts, even though I'm using like an old school leather belt, Chic has got really good belts too that I've used over the year. They're more of like a Velcro kind of, they don't last as long, but for the convenience of them, they're really good. So yeah, lots of good stuff. So yeah, get 95, let's mix it. Oh, and my body weight is, this morning when I got up after showering and everything, so 197.2, I think. So I've been dropping a little bit of weight again. So just trying to dial everything in, keep the steps up. So I've been able to get my calories to around 1,800 to 2,000 calories now. Now that I'm doing a lot more of the lifting and the power movements, doing the steps, I'm able to up the calories just a hair. And since I'm dropping body weight, I'm kind of gauging it by that. So if I drop too fast, I'll just add a little bit of calories, but I don't want to maintain. I want to continue to stay in that deficit to keep losing body fat. So I tried to pose my legs last time, my last leg video. The lights are so bright in here to where any kind of lines that I actually do have were blurred out. And two, I still have a decent amount of body fat in my frame. So my legs are huge, but they're just covered with cushion. So you can't really tell. So as I get leaner, I'll probably be a little bit more encouraged to show my legs. And then once I start seeing lines on my six pack, we'll start seeing more in that. Well, I don't know. We'll probably still have some in between photos just to see them. I swear body dysmorphia is a thing. The better and the leaner you get, the fatter you feel. It's really sad, but it's true. I feel heavier now than I did when I was 265 back in the day, which is so strange. So I really have to keep things in perspective and be healthy, not just physically, but mentally. Otherwise, what's the point? You get the perfect body and then you still hate what you look like. I mean, it's like you didn't do anything. I mean, obviously it's healthy for you, but it's... time. I put a quarter on there and see what that feels like. 110. One thing with these, when I go past failure, be really careful, because I've noticed that, and I'm used to this pain, so I can still talk, that when I really go past failure with my hamstrings, it feels like it's going to tweak. Because I think hamstrings are made up of a lot of fibers. So you hear of a lot of people having little hamstring tears. So be really careful when you're exploding out of the bottom like that. Think of like fast twitch, like bouncing. Have you ever seen any of Tom Platz's videos to where he would go to the bottom and do? It's like obviously it's genetics. He had really good muscle fiber, but a lot of people, you train like that if you're dehydrated. Especially with a lot of those guys when they're in pre-contest mode. And they're dehydrated and they try to lift heavy. Muscles are dehydrated and brittle. And then end up tearing things because you don't have a lot of water, not a lot of flexibility. It's like an old guitar string when it's really tight and pulled and stretched, it breaks. Maybe not the best comparison, but you get what I mean. Play things by ear. Maybe for other people it's not hamstrings, it's their quads. But for me, when I really go through, really go fast, I can pull things, especially like the inward, the leg machines when you're pulling your legs in. That sensation is like, I forget what that is, that cord that goes across your, that basically lines your thigh. I forget what that muscle is called. But whenever I do those, and if I do them fast and I don't warm up, I can almost tweak things. I've almost pulled that before, especially doing sumo deadlifts. I tried to do those for a while. When it go heavy, I'd feel that in between the thigh. And I'm like, you know what? It's like I was doing that to try to keep my back out of it. But in the process of doing that, I almost injured my leg. So I'm like, nope, I'm never doing sumos again. I'll do conventional deadlifts. Really, really close stance. It's just not worth getting hurt. And everyone's frame is different. Like for me, I was watching some of these YouTube shorts with Dorian Yates, and when he first started, he always did. He said he put his, I don't like to swear on my channel, so like butt to the grass, but you know what I mean. When he would do squats, he'd get the squat shoes just like Tom Platt's, just similar like the ones I had, and the knee wraps. And we go super heavy, super deep, and then he ended up tearing. I don't know exactly. He said that he injured himself, so I don't know if it was his thigh or it was lower back or something. But he said he's about 6 foot, like 5'10", 5'11". He said I'm just not mechanically made for squats. I mean, squats work for Tom Platt's because he was just built for it. And for me, even though I think Tom Platt's is 5'8", I'm only 5'6", so I'm really short. I don't have a lot of flexibility in my legs. I mean, I have really good flexibility in my hamstrings. I literally can bend over with my legs straight. I'll have you follow me real quick so you can actually see what I'm talking about. So when I go all the way down to the ground, I literally, you can see me? I can literally touch the ground all the way here. So really good flexibility in my hamstrings, but zero flexibility in my quads and my ankles. So I have to be really careful. So even when you're looking at my squats, like, whoa, he's just right at parallel. Why is he not going deeper than that? That's as deep as I can go. So it seems like I wasn't really manufactured for him either. It's like Elite Priest is another guy. He's only 5'4". And when he would squat just at parallel or a little above, kind of like an Arnold Schwarzenegger squat. When he would squat like that, unless he was doing front squats, he would stop just right above parallel. Just because as tall as he was, he didn't have flexibility. So even though Lee Priest is only 5'4", he didn't have that flexibility either. But he had huge legs, so whatever he did worked. So I do what works for me, and I stop right about parallel or a little bit below. It's just in that range. And I go as deep as I can. And as safe as it feels, that's what I like to do. But if you're someone like Dorian Yates and you do squats and you can't go deep or it doesn't feel comfortable, that's fine. Find a Smith machine to where you maybe can put your feet a little further in front of you, and then you can squat and go deeper without having to worry about your toes pointing or anything like that. Do what makes you feel comfortable, do what makes you feel safe. This is going to be my last set of these. It's getting pretty late, and my calves are getting tired. Actually, everything feels tired. Calves, I swear, is the only muscle that I train that when I train past failure, it makes me feel like I have to pee my pants. When I do squats, I can do anything else all day long, but man, when I push calves past failure, it makes me feel like I gotta pee. I'm just being real. Go up to 125 and we'll take this set to failure too. We're gonna call it quits there. Let's see what the light looks like here. So there we go. Now we can finally see some lines. okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Light looks great. Not getting blurred out now. So yeah, it's like as big as my thighs are, when they get leaner, all the stuff will look better, which I'm really excited for. So another really good workout today. I don't know, does it look good high or does it look good lower? I don't know. Is it getting way too close sometimes with the camera there? Depending on what you're watching me from. So yeah, I got to do some great squats today. I haven't used 315 in a while, but since I was using my belt and my wraps, I felt really comfortable. Although with the wraps, it is harder to get lower because it really pinches everything, especially when I was doing the pendulum squats. When you go really deep like that, it almost feels like it's turning into a tourniquet. But sometimes they go super deep. I've tried to do that before with hack squats. Hack squats, I've really tried to go deep before with my wraps, and I feel that same kind of sensation. So I'll bring my legs a little forward more, so I hit more of my glutes and my hamstrings, which are fine. I'm trying to get my hamstrings bigger anyways. My thighs are pretty decent. Even though I don't generally use a lot of weight. I mean, today it actually caught me off guard how much I was able to use in the squats, because what did we use last time? 205, I think. I get that for 8 reps, but I wasn't using belts, or my belt, I wasn't using any of my knee wraps. So that was actually a surprise. And plus too, using the steel plates, that always, it sounds different. It almost sounds a little intimidating. It's been so long since I've heard that rumble of the weights. And so I remember my dad telling me, there's nothing like being in the gym and all of a sudden you hear 4 wheels, 445s on a bar, that rumble of the steel. And it says that steel had, it's like each plate on there would have a different sound, like a deeper rumble. So it's like you knew when someone was using heavy weight. So that's a cool thing about this gym too. There's a lot more camaraderie. There's a lot more, I guess you could say fellowship, to where you can have a group of guys get together, and it's old school. It's more powerlifting here. So I was kind of thinking the other day that I thought that powerlifting was kind of a dying breed. I'm like, I remember back in high school, everyone wanted to ego lift and be stupid, but normally they weren't even involved in powerlifting. They were just trying to get a top PR, see what they could max with their buddies. And I think from what I'd researched, I think as of 2018, that's when powerlifting started to go more underground, but it's actually bigger than ever. And so it's not as big on social media. It kind of turned into a hybrid, because I think that's when the what do you call it? There's a gym right next door, CrossFit. I think that's when CrossFit started to become a bigger thing too. And a lot of people wanted to transition into being like these explosive like athletes, which makes sense because it's all practical, right? I mean, bodybuilding, you want to look good, right? And so look good and be healthy, not necessarily have to use a tremendous amount of weight, because if you're on stage posing, they're not going to ask you like, hey, so we heard you bench press 500 pounds. That's why you're going to win this competition. If the guy next to you has a better chest and he's only using 275 for reps, he's going to beat you. They don't care what he's using in regards to weight. So, but yeah, it's nice because people here, it's very different from the bigger gyms that I would go to before. Everyone's just very much into their own thing, I guess. I mean, you look up people, everyone ignores everyone. This makes it reminds me of like the YMCA I used to go to back in Idaho Falls, to where you go there, people actually come up and say hi to you. I'm like, whoa, hello, hi. Well, I'm like, you said hi to me, what's wrong with him? There's nothing wrong with him, he's just a nice guy. And so that's different from, it just caught me off guard. And so, and I think this is Vancouver, Washington. So, I mean, I was in southeastern Idaho for about 15, 16 years with my family. When I came back over here to finish school, they moved back to Wisconsin, where they were born and raised. And just a different vibe here. A lot more people are into themselves. They're just kind of into their own routines, not as social, not as friendly. It's just different parts. I mean, when you travel and go to different parts of the country, people act different. So when you have pockets like that, sometimes when you're around this, it kind of makes you believe and feel that wherever you go, it's going to be like this. And so, but in areas like this too, where especially like within Portland, like city of Portland is just, it's, as much as I like Portland, it's kind of like a Walmart or a big circus. You got cosplay conventions, all this crazy stuff going around with anime. I mean, it's a lot of fun stuff, don't get me wrong. But it is very, very interesting, the kind of people that are there. I mean, it's odd seeing someone that doesn't have colored hair, which is funny. So, yeah, lots of nice people here. A lot of people are kind of into their own zones, as strange people. But when you get into pockets, especially gyms like this, different communities, I think that was what I want to say. You have communities that you can really grow with people. Squats are able to do 315 for 8 tonight. That was really nice. Leg extension didn't go really all that heavy, but that's fine. It felt really heavy, and it actually felt easier on my knees. One thing I've noticed before, when I go really heavy and I go fast, when I explode out of that bottom movement, when I was telling you before, when I used to go really heavy back in the day, right above my knee and below my knee, I would feel a sharp pain when I'd squat all the way down, and right when I come back up, I feel a pain right across the top part of my right knee. And so I actually felt it when I was going really like blasting out of those bottom parts of the reps of my leg extensions when I go heavy. So I'm a lot more careful. I go by feel. I'm still explosive when I do that exercise, but I have to monitor how I feel. So I play things by ear. I try to be safe. I'm using my knee wraps now. I'm just trying to play things a lot safer using my belt. As, it's like the belt, it just keeps everything nice and tight. So when I go to the bottom there, I just feel more secure. It's kind of like when I do my bench press and use my slingshot. Just keep a little bit more locked in, a little bit more confident with your exercise. Same thing with the knee wraps. I also recently picked up a pair of elbow wraps, because it's like when I use my slingshot, I can use it on an incline press, but it's like almost choking you out because it's going under your neck and going back up. So it'll be nice to be able to use those wraps for my elbow, especially with the tendonitis I'm having in my left elbow. Probably help a little bit too. So yeah, I'll be able to do that on my heavier sets with a military press and on an incline dumbbell or an incline barbell, or even the hammer strength incline press. That'll be cool. So yeah, basically anything that has a press, I can use those on, especially like machines. So that'll be cool. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys following along. If you guys like my videos, like and subscribe, comment in there. And yeah, and it's a small enough channel to where I'll always try to do my best to comment back. I really appreciate all the comments I've gotten so far. So thank you guys so much. Even though it's a small channel, it's like you can build that was one thing I was really looking forward to in doing this channel, is that it could really turn into a business, and not just that, but a community. Okay, thank you guys so much for following along again. I'm gonna head home. It is 12:04 a.m. So my wife is probably wondering where I am. She knows where I am, but you know what I mean. Okay, see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.